After lunch, please everybody put on your phones on silent. Be great. And I'll let you guys take it over.
Sweet. Thanks, Chris. All right. So, like Chris said, this is Onshape. The title on the thing didn't really say kind of what this was about. So, this is focusing on is Onshape right for you? So, if you're thinking about going to Onshape or using Onshape, this is kind of a good course for you. If you already use Onshape, sweet. If you don't know anything about Onshape, you're not going to learn a lot in here, but maybe a little bit, enough to maybe make you want to learn more. So go ahead next. All right, so what we're going to be looking at here is just the insights and processes that we went through at 4607 in transitioning from what we were using to Onshape, right? It was kind of a big change. Holy cow, what are we doing? So we're just going to kind of talk through that a little bit. The goal that I have is kind of simple. I want to get you through understanding what we did to make the decisions that we did. And then we're going to have Zach over here do a live demo. And we'll see if he can design a drivetrain from start to finish in about 20 minutes, maybe 15. We'll see what happens. All right, so we'll just kind of do a few things there. So kind of go through it. We're going to do some intros, why we decided to make the change, how we kind of planned it all out, and what we did throughout that, right? So there you go. Yep. Why is design? Who put that on there?
You did.
No, I didn't. AI did that. All right, next. All right, so I'm Joe. Started out in high school AV club, so whoever's running this stuff, that's what I used to do, but they're way bigger cameras. I worked TV industry for a long time. I've been a member of the National Guard, doing computer tech stuff for a long time. Started off my FRC career at Warp Speed 4239. No, okay. Moved over to CIS in 2021, and there's the rest of the stats that kind of go along with me. So that's me. I'm Joe.
I'm Dylan. I'm a 11th grader in Shell. I do build/electrical, and that's my history of birth. And I'm not in debt for Joe.
What?
Nothing.
What'd you say? Jeez.
I'm SAG. I'm a senior this year, and I do build/design. And I joined as a sophomore in 2024, and we've got 2 state wins and 2 champs appearances in those 2 years. I've been on the team.
So it's all because of him, right?
Oh, okay.
All right, so why make the change, or that kind of thing. So what were we using? We were using SolidWorks. Show of hands, who uses SolidWorks? Is this for real?
We used to.
Okay, show of hands, who uses Onshape? That's hilarious. All right, what are you guys doing in here?
It was just labeled Onshape. I thought I was going to learn about it.
See, we should have named it different. We'll blame Yuri for that. He's not around. All right, cool. All right, well, so what we kind of like about Onshape, all right, or SolidWorks, is obviously it's industry standard, right? That's a big deal. It's used out in industry all over the place. So that's a good thing. It's got a lot of tools and features, and it's free to first teams, kind of like Onshape and mostly everything else, so that's cool. We had a lot of experience with SolidWorks. Myself, from when I was at Warp Speed, we were using Inventor, AutoCAD. Then I learned SolidWorks because that's what 4607 was using. Our other design mentor, Corey, he is big on SolidWorks. He knows that a lot. A lot of the other teaching and stuff like that within the school use SolidWorks, so all the students knew it. That's why we were big on SolidWorks. And then, yeah, so then we decided to do some thinking next. So we decided we were looking at making some changes, right? The biggest driver was file management, right? So I'm sure that's possibly why a lot of you maybe switched over to Onshape as well. SolidWorks, it was extremely difficult. Onshape is becoming to seem like it's a lot easier. So workflow, versioning, having somebody design something, having somebody else pick up on that design or add to it or something like that got really challenging. that and the hardware requirements, right? So you need a pretty decent computer to run SolidWorks well, especially when you get in big models and stuff like that. Onshape, not so much, doesn't matter too much. Gets a little cranky if you got something big in there and you don't have a very good computer, but for the most part it's pretty lightweight. Okay. So as we were kind of starting to talk through this, we thought, you know, we started kicking around the idea of switching to Onshape. Kind of it started last year really. We talked about doing it and decided against it because nobody knew it and we already knew SolidWorks, so we were like, let's just keep doing that. Once we graduated our last designer out, who was pretty much the last person we had on the team that used SolidWorks, we were like, well, maybe now's the time. And so this summer we kind of talked about it a little bit and said, okay, let's maybe do that. We don't have a lot of returning members that know SolidWorks at all. Maybe a little bit. I think Zach knew it a little bit.
I know how to run SolidWorks.
You know how to run, you know, well, we'll see. So we didn't have a lot of returning experience, and us mentors were kind of bored, so we were like, all right, well, let's try to learn something new. So we started diving into Onshape and started seeing a lot of the benefits of it, so we switched out. Right on. So, and obviously we just knew there was a need for a better platform for collaboration. That was the big thing. We were looking at it going, holy cow, this SolidWorks thing is not doing it for us. So we knew something had to be different, and we got down with that. Go ahead. So what we kind of decided with, things we wanted to make sure we could do, we wanted to be able to make sure that all of our old stuff was still going to work. So anything that we designed in the prior years, so there's our 2022 robot. What was that one's name?
Midnight Bite.
That was Midnight Bite, that's right. Yeah, so that was a cool robot. We wanted to make sure all of the stuff we've designed previously could get pulled into Onshape and still be functional, right? A lot of work's been into that, so obviously we still have the files and stuff, so if we need to get to something we can with SolidWorks, but yeah, we did want to do that. As far as our, other workflow processes, we wanted to make sure it worked with our DFMEA process, which if you've been through that class, we do that kind of extensively. So there's a lot to be done with that as far as being able to document stuff. CAD to CAM was like the biggest, and still is kind of the biggest unknown, right? And we have a process for it, which is basically do it the same way, right?
Yeah, you literally just we use SolidWorks CAM in the past, and we're going to again this year, unless Onshape comes out with its CAM, and if we find it good. But we're planning on right now just making all of our parts in Onshape and then just exporting them to SolidWorks and doing the CAM in SolidWorks.
Unless they get the
Onshape
CAM process. That's supposed to be coming out soonish, from what I understand, so we'll see. Yeah?
What is CAM? I haven't heard of that before.
He's this guy who graduated last week. Oh, or last year. No, just kidding.
Computer-aided machining, maybe.
Don't look at me, dude. I ain't that guy.
But it's making the tool paths and the cut paths for a CNC machine, taking the 3D model, and then making the code for the machine the tool paths for the machine to make it on the CNC machine to cut the part that's modeled in CAD, basically.
Yeah, sounds right. That's how I understand it anyway. The other big thing we wanted to make sure we were able to do is the collaboration part, right? Like we used to use GrabCAD with SolidWorks. We used to have a little bit more availability with that. And we saw that lacking with SolidWorks ever since GrabCAD went away. We were struggling with that quite a bit. It was a lot more screenshots and sharing screenshots. Hey, change this. Okay, hold on. Screenshot. Okay, that looks better. As opposed to being able to have access to the actual models. So, thanks. That's you. Okay, good. So we worked a little bit with 4728 Ricori. They helped us out quite a bit. They're Onshape friendly. They came out and did a class or boot camp with us over the summer, along with a few other teams from the area. That kind of helped us get the basics of, hey, here's, and then it helped us not only with the transitioning part over to Onshape, but it also helped the, some of the students that had never CADed or done any design stuff be able to go in and actually play with doing some modeling and making some drawings and stuff like that. So that was a pretty fun class. Gave us the chance to kind of start poking holes in things and seeing what worked and what didn't work. But at that point, was that June-ish, June, July, we were kind of like, okay, let's go. We're rolling on this, and we haven't looked back really ever since. Right, so benefits that we've gained or saw, what we learned, far better file management. File management system in Onshape seems to be absolutely beyond what I ever thought was possible. Like, it's awesome. Everybody in here uses it, right? So anybody have any cool, hey, this is kind of neat things as far as file management goes? Nobody cares about that? Okay. I think it's really cool. I don't know. Version control, we'll kind of look at that a little bit during the demo part. Being able to do assignments. Do you guys use that on your teams at all? Where like you do the, hey, you can go in and actually make a task for a to-do list basically for your designer to do, and they can go in and change stuff. Zach loves it. He loves that that works. Because yeah, we can, Corey, the other mentor, and I can go in there and be like, hey, change this or adjust this or something like that, and just make a list for him to fix, and he does it sometimes. Right? Feature scripts, anybody, so there's a ton of them out there for FRC. Anybody got any cool feature scripts they like to use? No? You guys are, this is the after lunch crowd, I can tell, everybody's sleeping. Yeah, I see a hand down there, okay, good.
There's one I use that calculates the weight of 3D printed objects.
Really?
Because it's kind of hard to get the weight of a 3D printed object down into.
What's the name of that one?
I have it.
Oh, do you? Okay, good.
I have one that does that.
That sounds nice, I like that. Go ahead.
There's one called Origin Cube that can calculate like the use functions to calculate dimensions for belts and center to center distances and stuff like that.
Yep, that's a cool one. Somebody else have any? I've personally, and I'm not the CAD guy. I mean, I kind of am at times. The goal is to make it so Joe doesn't have to CAD stuff, right? So if we get to the point in the season where like, oh man, Joe's starting to play with CAD, that means somebody screwed up, right? I don't like to play with that stuff. But as I was playing with it for some other side personal projects, gear generators, belt generators, all that kind of stuff. If you're suffering through, hey, what's my center to center on this sprocket distance for a chain run, it'll tell you exactly what it is. It'll build it out for you and everything. It'll model it, and you'll be all set. It's beautiful. Oh, and mates. Yeah, see, I knew I was going to phrase that one. Oh, MKCad. You guys, I assume everybody uses MKCad. If you're on Onshape, does anybody not know what that is? Sweet. Yeah, you do.
No, I'm not familiar with this term.
Okay. Well, we'll show you that in a little bit. Mating, the mates and stuff like that in Onshape are by far, from what I've seen, some worse. They're confusing to people that have used other things. So like me in SolidWorks, trying to transition over to Onshape, it's like they use a lot of different terminology that I'm not used to, but for the most part, they all work the same or better. So that's pretty good. What? You look like you had something to say. Okay, good. All right. So now it's time for Zach to shine. So what I'm gonna do, you gotta get out of the way. No, not that. Why would you go further into the corner? So Zach's up on his right now. I got signed out, didn't I? Oh yeah. What's the new one called?
Same.
That one? Maybe.
Yeah.
So this is the part that I absolutely love about it, is the fact that I can sit here and like literally. How do I full screen? That's not a thing anymore. F11 doesn't work.
So nice.
that,
Is maximize the full screen?
that one?
It's already
No.
maximized.
That's bright. Okay, my function keys are backwards, so function F11 is full screen. Never mind, anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead, Zach, so he's gonna start doing some stuff and we're gonna be able to watch him,
I
right?
don't think you follow.
What? Do I follow you?
I don't know. Or maybe you are. I've never done it before.
We're doing practice this time.
Okay.
Here, I'll tell you what, we'll just do this.
That works
I was
too.
hoping it would work the other way, that's cooler.
If you like click on his name, you can follow.
That's what I thought it was, I clicked up there.
Yeah, don't you just.
There it is,
There you go.
good looking out. I clicked on it, but not really good.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna tell him what every mouse move you make. So we start with the origin cube. See that? Oh, you're doing an offset? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, it is.
So I can't, here, we're switching over to your computer, because I can't see the changes you're making.
Okay.
We can only see it happen. And that's dumb. I can't remember who it was. Somebody at Blue Twilight, I don't remember the name, has an Onshape video on YouTube. Am I thinking of somebody else?
I did that available.
What's that?
I did that available.
Okay. But that's the other thing that I've noticed too, is there's so many different resources out there, but there's a great video from, can't remember his name, at Blue Twilight, that did a tutorial on building a frame structure and stuff like that, kind of like what Zach's doing right now. And quite literally, you can build a frame in like no time flat. So he's just kind of laying out the, I can't see any of this on here, this sucks. Just kind of laying out the actual tube structure there, if you didn't know what he was doing there. So this is one thing, you guys use Variable Studios anyway? That's a cool functionality that I didn't quite realize was a thing. Again, our main CAD mentor, Corey, he kind of dove into this pretty far and deep and figured out all this stuff, but this is really sweet.
And approved.
Hello? Broke it. Now it's starting to look silly.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay, good.
Oh, and use a symmetric mate. So it's symmetric both sides.
Does everybody understand what's going on? I know I don't.
No.
Yeah,
Can you
Joe's
explain?
not
I'd talk through it, but I don't know what the heck he's doing either, cause he did
So
this,
I
he
should
did
just
this
be
weird.
talking
Yeah,
and
go
you say-
ahead, you can
Okay.
float up.
So, yeah, I just use symmetric mates to make sure that it's equal from the center. Now I am going to add, and I added the length and width dimensions on as variables, so you can change those whenever you want, and it'll automatically update the CAD. And yeah, this is. So I'm gonna make this. Because I'm going to be putting in Mark 5N sort of modules so that the corners are out. So, except for I forgot. 4.25 away from the edge on each side for the Mark 5 sort of modules. One thing that I don't like about Onshape is that you can't make two dimensions equal. You have to put a line there and then make the lines equal, which in SolidWorks is better. I like that better, but it's fine. So now I'm going to make these two sides equal. And then I am non-expert, but I'm going to put the points for the holes on for the sort of module mounting holes on this, but I know there's a way you can make the holes like in the context of the Art Studio, which might be better, I don't know. But
There is a feature script called toGenerator.
yeah, I have that. Or wait, no, not that one, I don't think.
Yeah, you have two generators.
Well,
Does that work better?
You should.
Yeah, you can extrude out, so you have a 2x1, just like a 2x1.
yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just making the points for the holes. And then this is what we do is we make a master sketch Art Studio, and then we insert the sketch into other part studios and then make the actual parts in the other one, but we have a master sketch one. So whenever you're doing all this, it's also important to make sure that you name all your things, because organization is very helpful, especially if there's multiple people looking at your things. Like I should name this plane like drivetrain rails, top drivetrain rails or something, and like the sketch drivetrain rails for better organization, but I just didn't do it.
So why don't let's take a pause on this and open up the preseason drivetrain. Maybe you can walk people through that a little bit. I know I'm calling an audible here, but that was fun watching you suffer.
So this is our master sketch for our 2026 preseason drivetrain. It's a little, I think we'll probably end up coloring the different sketches different colors so they're more distinct. So it's not just a mess of all the same thing of sketches. But then you go to our chassis, we have a parts studio where we made all the parts from the sketch. Just a basic 4 drivetrain rails, 2 inner subframe rails, 2x1 subframe rails, and then a belly pan, and then we have a little sheet metal battery tray thing here, and then just the assembly, put everything in. We just decided to go with the 2x1 inner frame rail for this, our practice robot, because then we can, what we've done in the past is we've had a 1x1 subframe, and then we've mounted all our subsystems on top of the drivetrain. But if by mounting it inside the drivetrain, it makes it so that everything's a little lower and you have a little bit more space, and it lowers your center of gravity, is why we decided to do this. And this is just a rough model so far, but this is what we're doing this year. decision?
Yeah, so, like Zach said, this is basically what we're gonna start the season with, right? So when we kind of build out pre-season, this will start getting cut on Tuesday. Then, once we go into January, we're able to start prototyping and building off of this, in order to start testing stuff out right away. We go into the season with the thought process of our drivetrain's gonna be this size, this shape, and it's gonna look pretty much exactly like this. Unless they make us change it, right? So like 2024, under the bumper intake, okay, cool, they made us change it. So we made an adjustment. If we don't have to change it, then we're already that far ahead of the game where we can just say, okay, cool, all this stuff worked. We can start cutting these pieces out for the production robot. And as we build on top of it, then yeah, it just makes sense that way. Try to limit as much work as possible for that first couple weeks of the season, so we're not designing a drivetrain that we already know we're gonna be making, right? Plus, also, if you got new programmers or anybody, they can start playing with this now. They can play with it in November, they can play with it in December. That way, when kickoff happens and you give them a robot in a week and a half, they're able to start, they should already know how to program that and how to start running autos and doing that kind of thing. So, why don't you pull up MKCad, because we had an MKCad question, right? So, MKCad's basically just a parts library for all of FRC. It's got everything, almost. So if you haven't used this before, if you don't have this, I strongly suggest installing it. It's just an app that you can add to Onshape. But they've got quite literally mostly any part. I don't think the Mark 5 Ns are in there yet, right?
No, they don't have the Mark 5s for modules.
Yep. So, but
I'm guessing.
there's a few newer parts that aren't in there yet, but for the most part, it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. Which, it's very helpful, just bringing in all the stuff that you need.
Yep. Yeah, so, questions, comments, concerns? Yeah,
What's your opinion on frcdesign.org? Have you heard of that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on board. What do you mean? What's
So,
my
like,
opinion?
what
I think it's neat.
you guys?
Yep.
I think that's very downloadable.
And that might
Most
be
of
where-
our feature scripts
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything on it or I think they have like suggestions or design standards or
Tutorials
whatever,
and stuff,
but
yeah.
stuff. I haven't watched or read any of that, but that's where we got our feature scripts from.
How do you teach your cadders, or like new cadders? Do you have stuff for them to do, or you just tell them to like tinker around and figure out what's going
How
on?
do we teach you? What are you looking at him for?
Well, he just, the way we did that with the other teams, we did a CAD, lessons during the summer, 3 months ago or whatever, and with other teams, and we just basically went through going from a sketch to extrusions and then assemblies, and went through how you go through that process, and also file management on Onshape. And but then also after that, our mentors that are mentor for CAD basically told us to just try making a drivetrain and see how it goes, and then ask us for help if you need help. And yeah, a lot of tinkering around is a lot of how it happens, but just making a drivetrain is a kind of simple task that even if it's not just fully fledged out, just making it can help you learn.
I noticed you fully catted out some of the wires.
Yeah, isn't that bonkers?
How
Tell 'em to
often
quit
do
it.
you do that? Like, is
Never
that-
before.
That's actually a feature script that Corey figured out. So he pulled that in. He loves doing wires. We've never done them before because they were terrible to do in SolidWorks. If you've ever tried doing it, it's the worst thing ever. But in here, it's super simple. You literally just pull out, it's a CSV file you can dump into Excel or whatever, and you can lay it out what you want where, or what devices have what kind of wires. And then you can just quite literally just mate them to different things. and it'll path it, and you can, when you go back into the wiring one. Right, so you can, when you're in here, you can edit that and like just drag and change kind of the pathing for it. I think it was in here, maybe not. There's somewhere in there you could do it. I was playing with it, but I don't want to break Corey's stuff.
So wire routing.csv, that's the feature script.
I don't know, is it?
Or what is the feature script?
Wire route.
What is this?
That was it right there.
Yeah, at the bottom.
It drop down again. Wire route. And then what's the other one above that? Wire retention, I would assume. Wire connectors. Yeah, he went a little off the grid. He's up at NMRC right now in a hotel room for their conference championship up there, so I'm sure Corey's just sitting in a hotel figuring stuff out. But I've already saw it. I was like, I told Zach, I'm like, I don't like that. We gotta talk Corey out of doing that because I don't want to see all the wires on here. It's gonna get gross. It looks gross in real life. I don't want to see it in virtual world.
Yeah, so.
But it's not bad. I mean, it's not a bad idea to, the part I liked about it is you can assign weight to it and stuff. And once, people don't think about that, you got a couple dozen 10 gauge wires running a few feet, that's weight. That's a thing. So being able to account for that and add that into your design, not a bad idea. If you're doing a climb like last year where you've got to be very, very well balanced, your center of gravity's got to be pretty perfect, that amount of wire on one side of your robot might make a difference in things. So, be aware. Yes?
I keep seeing this like gray box in your in your
Yes.
project. Yeah. What is that?
It's the origin cube. It's just it's on the origin with the top face on the origin, and it's just to help I don't even know
It's a point of reference, right?
It's just a point of reference.
And you can, so if you are looking at, go back to your main chassis, or the sketch.
We're at less than 10, just so you know.
Yep.
Where is?
No, the sketch.
You want the sketch?
That's the word I said.
You said the other one first.
I know.
Where is it?
Where is it? You hit it.
Never mind. Why is it invisible?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just here.
There you go. So that origin cube is based off, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, the floor,
Yeah, it's the.
right? That's the floor. So that accounts for the wheel difference between the bottom of the frame rails and the floor, right? So if we start looking at and doing game analysis on next year's game and it's like, oh shoot, we need to be like super low rider, then we just make that adjustment in here and that'll tell us what we need to change on our frames to make that adjustment. Right?
And it's a feature script.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure it also has a bunch of formulas packed into the files for it, so the origin cube, just has a bunch of formulas that you can put in with that hash.
Yeah, I think there is. I've never played with it, but
Yeah.
I think there. I haven't played with it, but it does. I think I've
Right. Go ahead.
What is like the learning curve for Onshape?
That's a phenomenal question. What is the learning curve for Onshape? I honestly, and again, I'm a computer, support guy. I'm not a designer of anything. I'm not an engineer. I picked up AutoCAD. Probably took me a while. SolidWorks was easier because I knew AutoCAD. Onshape was super easy because I knew SolidWorks. It seems to me it's extremely intuitive as far as what the learning curve is. It's not bad. A lot of the folks we brought in for the class over the summer had zero experience with CAD, and they were designing some pretty complex stuff in the course of a couple days of doing it. So it's not bad. And the other thing too is, a lot of folks that were at their heads around the wheel, especially like with what we're doing here, where it's just sketches and drawings and things like that, and then we make extrusions and then we have parts and that kind of thing. A lot of the things that you do in FRC can be done through that MKCad system, right? You can go in there and pull down extrusions. You can go down in there and pull down any motor, any gearbox, any whatever you can think of that's part of the FRC ecosystem from most of the main manufacturers. and put that into a design. You don't have to sit there and draw out every part. So that's, you know, instead of looking at it as, hey, I gotta CAD stuff, it's more of a, hey, I gotta assemble things in a CAD program. You know, so that kind of simplifies it quite a bit.
And you can also, I've never used it, but you can also use CAD to help just design a basic idea of a robot, just a rough sketch at the beginning of the season to try and figure out what your robot's gonna look like. It's basically just a bunch of simplified
Mechanisms,
mechanisms,
subsystems, yeah.
subsystems to help you
Yep.
figure out what your robot's gonna look like during the season.
All right.
3 or 4 minutes at most?
What's that?
3 or 4 minutes.
You want me to just hang out here and rap or something? Or?
Whatever.
I mean, if you guys got any more questions or other things to... I was surprised to see everybody's hand go up, but everybody's using Onshape. I guess we were the oddballs for not doing it. We were thinking, oh man, we're falling into this cool new thing that people should probably also fall into because it's cool. Everybody else is already doing it. So we're late.
You're kind of stubborn.
We are stubborn. Yeah, I
I
guess.
didn't want to.
No. All right, well, thanks for coming out and thanks for being at Jumpstart today too, right? So Saturday and everybody comes out to this kind of thing, that's awesome. You guys rock.
Yo, there was 7 minutes left.